Hello to my online learners and welcome to the second part of lymph and immunity. One of the second line of defense. The first line of defense is the barriers to keep things out. But once some pathogens come in, the second line of defense, which is a non-specific way of attacking things, kicks in. And one of them is inflammation. So you can tell you've got inflammation because you have pain, swelling, heat, and redness. And it's all explained by the body's process to wall off the damaged area and flood it with blood and white blood cells to clean up the area. So when the tissue is damaged, it releases chemicals called histamine and cytokinins, and then that will attract white blood cells and cause vasodilation, which is swelling. And then because you have more blood in the area, you have heat. Now, white blood cells will also go through the blood vessel walls and start to destroy and clean away any cells, and that will build up. It's very important, and it's a part of our adaptive immunity. There is a really complicated diagram here. Very complicated. I'd rather you just get the basics from the video that I put on Blackboard. Now, the problem with inflammation is sometimes it's a double-edged sword, and you can have inflammation where you don't want it. An example there is a sprained ankle. So what you do is you wrap it with a tensor bandage, and that puts pressure, which keeps the fluid out. Fever is another innate thing that our body does. A little fever is okay because it speeds up your body and slows down the invaders. So it's okay. Too much fever is damaging because it can change your blood proteins. Good. We talked about macrophages, which are the white blood cells that come in and eat. Macro means large, phage means eater. And they will eat things. The natural killer cells destroy things. This is all part of our innate immunity. It's crude, and it will affect anything that's foreign to our bodies. If this isn't enough, our adaptive immunity will kick in, and it's adaptive because it will fight specific antigens with specific antibodies, and that will recruit our T cells and our B cells, which then will stick around as memory. So this way, if it comes back again, it can easily be there to attack quickly. Now, very detailed, lots of information. I'm going to keep it pretty specific. Immunizations or vaccinations are part of a way we prevent illness. What we do is we trick our body to think that the invader is coming, but usually we don't have the active antigen. We just have a copy of it, a weakened one, or now they can just take that specific protein, that the signal or the fingerprint, and inject that into your body. A lot of detail here. Your lymphocytes get activated, then they mature, and a lot of detail here. Basically, there's different types of lymphocytes, and they will coordinate the system. So the helper T cells are white blood cells or lymphocytes that activate the system, and they will divide and basically turn on the system. A lot of detail here. Don't worry about it at this point. Then the T cells, you've got helper Ts and then cytotoxic Ts and then memory Ts. The antigens will also stimulate the B cells. And the B cells are responsible for making antibodies. And the antibodies bond with a specific antigen, and then it marks it so this way the macrophage can clean up. There's a lot of detail on here. I don't want you to know this much detail. Watch the video again. I want you mainly to know that an antigen is a specific chemical and the antibody fits it specifically. Watch the the video I've put on. It's much better because there's a lot of detail here. The only thing I want you to realize is memory B cells are made, and this is what gives you the immunity. So this way, when the real invader comes along, your body can quickly be activated, and those B cells can quickly go out and destroy what needs to be destroyed. Okay, lots of detail here. You don't need to know it at this time. Now, there's things called active immunity and active immunity as opposed to passive immunity. Active immunity, you are given the antigens and your body will actively make the antibodies to fight it. So you can get it naturally by getting a disease or artificially by getting a vaccine. So the antigen goes into your body and you actively make your antibodies. Now there's a situation where you're either too young to have antibodies or it takes too long for it to happen. And an example with that is snake venom. So if you're a baby, your antibodies are passed through the placenta and through breastfeeding. They're there, but your body does not have a memory of it because they haven't made them. So it's good for a short term until your own system kicks in. Another thing too is an example of snake venom. Your body can't create the antibodies fast enough, so you will be given the antibodies to fight the snake bite if by chance you get bit by a snake. Okay? A lot of detail here, but this is a good summary of active and passive, acquired and natural, along with examples. Pay attention to this because it's a good diagram. Okay, then there's all sorts of diseases of the immune system. Have a look at them so you're aware of them. You won't be quizzed on them, but you'll have looked at them. Basically, with autoimmune diseases, you're looking at allergies, you're looking at diseases where your body attacks itself, and it shouldn't. And that's enough for this unit. Yeah, happy learning.